Alright, so now I think I finally figured out the failure to feed problem with the Springfield XDs. This is the 9mm, and a lot of people are reporting issues with certain hollow point ammo, like critical duty, which I have here, having a problem when you're manually racking the first round into the chamber, or first trying to rack a round in with your hand, that it can have a failure to feed. And I've seen this myself with different types of ammo, mainly the critical duty, but I'm going to show you what I think is causing the problem. Okay, so I've had this gun for almost a year now, put a couple thousand rounds through it, never had any issue with ball ammo, full metal jacket, whatever. It feeds just fine, and also once I rack a round into it, I can empty a magazine of almost whatever I have. Say almost, I just haven't tried everything, but every time I've got a round in the chamber and I start pulling the trigger, it functions flawlessly. It's just, there's a problem sometimes manually racking that first round in the chamber. And I'm going to try to demonstrate that for you today, and hopefully help explain at least what I think is going on. So this is a Hornady critical duty. I've got the extended mag here, and it's not completely full. I've got it, minus one round, because some people say that, hey, if you don't fill it all the way up to the top, it doesn't happen. I'm going to show you I can get it to happen. Now, I'm going to get it to happen with not a full mag, but now you also notice I'm going to do some stuff you're not supposed to do. But I've seen this when you're even trying to do it the right way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the mag. Okay. First of all, make sure my finger's never on the trigger and it's also pointing in a safe direction. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the barrel, pull it forward and up. Okay. And you understand why here in a little bit. I'm going to try to keep my light down in there. And watch this round. What you're going to notice is as I ease the slide forward, it dips down. Okay, and that time it fed right in. That's not uncommon. It doesn't always do this. I got pretty good at doing this, but of course the camera's on and now it's going to be hard for me. So I'm going to pull the barrel forward as much as I can and up. And let's try this again. There we go. Okay, you might be saying, hey, you didn't rack it and you rode the slide forward. Yes, I know you're not supposed to do that, but I have had this happen when I just rack and let go. Okay, but it doesn't happen all the time. So I want to show though what does happen. When it does happen, it gets jammed up tight. And this is what happens. If you look down in there, you can see the hollow point is stuck on the bottom of the feed ramp. Okay, and it's almost it's not really pointed down. I'm trying to get the angle of that. It's maybe nose down a tiny bit, but it's almost pretty level. Maybe nose down a little bit. But again, it's stuck there. Now, sometimes I have been able to just do a hard rack, okay, and let it slam and it goes in. But lots of times, especially with the critical duties, they really get stuck. Critical duties, critical defense. All right, so what's the solution? Well, you can rip the mag out, press the button, and I'm going to hold this in and rip the mag out. It actually takes some force because it's stuck in there, and the offending round got ejected. Okay, so now let me see if I can do that again. Now I'll show you that most of the time it works. If I'm going to do it the right way, just slam. So most of the time it works, but I have this thing. And even if you watch Pincus video where he's showing you how to break in a gun, he's firing the critical duty and he gets it to happen, and he's not slowly easing it forward. And there's a lot of people on the internet that talk about that can attest to the same thing. So, but in order to reproduce what does happen, even on a fast rack sometimes, I'm going to try to do this again. Ease it forward, it dips down, and there we go. Okay, it's hung up. Okay, so a lot of people find that, well, it's no problem if they switch to different types of ammo. So I'm going to show you something. So I'm going to do that, and I did do that. I actually switched to gold dots, spear gold dots you got here. I reload, so I was able to actually reload a whole bunch of them because I strongly believe you should test with what you're going to use. So I don't have tons of money to buy tons of loaded spear gold dot ammo, so I reload my own defensive ammo so I can try hundreds of rounds through the gun I'm actually going to be shooting it through. So I said, well, hey, let's try these things. And I actually got a video up showing how well these work. They really expand really well compared to this is the critical duty. Critical duty also worked very well. So Spear Gold Dot's also very effective. So I'm like, well, let's do the Spear Gold Dot. Now this is one I loaded, no primer, no powder, just to test this failure to feed issue. So I'm like, okay, well, Spear Gold Dots, they're obviously fatter than factory things than that. Anyways. So insert that, pull my barrel forward. Okay. Again, that just helps to reproduce the problem quicker and easier. So I rack it back. Okay, that went in. Let's try this again. Okay, hit slide lock, pull the barrel forward and up. Slowly ease that forward, although like I said, it does happen on a fast rack too. Okay, so notice we got the same condition here. Okay, it's stuck. It's stuck again. Okay, I was able to bang that in. Critical duty, you saw I racked, couldn't do it. These seem to be less likely to do it. Okay, still possible, but a little less likely. So, however, I have yet to be able to get, oh, not that one. I've yet to be able to get these hollow points to produce the same effect. Okay, the failure to feed issue. Now these are actually Spear Gold Dots. Not the kind you actually buy, 9mm, 124 grain. These are 125 grains. I got these pulled. Okay, and it doesn't really matter so much what bullet it is, because you're going to understand what's causing the problem. But I've yet to cause this, and actually I thought this would be the worst offender because it's got this huge opening. I thought maybe that'd get hung up and have harder problems to feed. But let me make sure I'm going to stick some of these in here. Make sure I get back to my just less than 1 round, so 8 rounds in the magazine, like with the other one. Okay, do the same thing. Now watch me get it stuck on the video. Okay. See, I thought I had it caught there on the lip. I mean, I had it in a perfect position, but it didn't get stuck. Oh, and overall length, I've tried the critical duties, or sorry, I've tried these Spear Gold Dots at different lengths and it still got stuck. But if you look at these 2 bullets, this is the one, the gold dot that kept getting stuck, or that I was able to get stuck. This is a gold dot with a bigger base, or a bigger hole, bigger opening here, and I cannot get it to stick. Okay. So let me try this again. Okay, I mean, I've got it in the perfect position where it should get stuck, but I mean, even if I ease that forward, it goes. Alright, so enough with that. Let me show you what is actually going on here. If you look down in there, you can see the barrel. Actually, let me just go and take this off real quick. Gun's empty, right? Because I have to pull the trigger to disassemble it. So here's our barrel, and here's how it sits. Okay, there's the tips kind of upright. When the slides back, barrel's tilted up. Okay, and now notice if you pull it forward like I was, or like when the gun's pointed down, you have this gap here. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but you can see where the feed ramp of the barrel comes to the base there. There's this little gap there. Okay, what that allows to happen is these bullets with small holes, they actually get stuck right there on the bottom of that lip, the bottom of the feed ramp. They get stuck between that feed ramp. Let me see if I can turn it around this way and get a better angle. So they get stuck right there. Here's the point. So they get stuck right here on the bottom of the feed ramp. there's like just a little lip, and I think it's almost able to almost like wedge up and under that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the way. But it gets wedged right up under that, and with the barrel up, and it just gets totally jammed up there. So then the Spear Gold Dot that got stuck does the same thing. It can get jammed right up in there. Now here's the thing with the bigger, oops, that's not it. The hollow point with the bigger hole, bigger diameter in the front. Why does it not get stuck? Well, what happens is if it tries to get hung up on that lip, it's so fat that instead of being able to get under this lip here, it actually hits the sides of the feed ramp that, you know, come out. Because it's so fat, it starts to engage the sides of the feed ramp on here and here. You know, it starts to engage that, and that just shoves it on up. So it has a hard time getting stuck on there because it's not that fine point that can go way back in here at this level. So these smaller hollow points can get right up in there. Okay, these big fat hollow points, okay, like this, when they hit there, you can see. Actually, if I do this, you see that gap there, that hole there? So the tip of that bullet's not able to get stuck on the center portion here. Right? Oops, sorry. It's not able to get stuck right there. It's able to hit the edges and go right up. So even if you try to go straight in like this, it's those edges and pushes it on up. Where this guy, smaller hollow point, it's still harder. It hits those edges and pushes on up, but it gets a little bit more in the center part. It's critical. Duties are also the worst offenders because they can get totally, and it's really not the ammo's fault, you know. But it can get right in there and get stuck good. Right? Does that make sense? So, anyways, so what I found: get you a nice big fat hollow point. Okay, big open, big diameter, so that when it hits that feed ramp, even if it's able to hit the bottom of that feed ramp, it still just slides right up in there. Well, I hope this helps someone. If you've seen had different experiences, or if you can reproduce the same results I've done, or provide more data, please do and post below. Thanks, guys.